Welcome to Me, Myself, and Ego. I'm Kim Jamieson, and today we are going to talk about core beliefs, more specifically, my core beliefs. So, what is a core belief? Basically, a core belief is like an essential part of your personality. It's a deeply held belief. Now, a belief is just something you are convicted is true, right? It's the truth to you. So, it's a deeply held belief that determines how you perceive yourself, others, the world around you, and all your experiences. So one of my core beliefs, and this is a core belief that I think I've always had, but I didn't necessarily understand it, know I had it, it wasn't conscious. But I got to a certain point in my life where I really needed to tap into it, and it has got me out of some pretty sticky situations ever since I discovered that I have this core belief. And that is, I truly believe that everyone does what they think is right at the time. Now, a little caveat with that, while I'm saying this stuff and while you're listening to me, I really want you to notice what comes up for you. If a thought pops into your head, if you're thinking something about me or what I'm saying, those thoughts that are popping up for you, there is so much wisdom in them. They're little golden nuggets that your unconscious mind is handing you, bringing to your attention, whether you like it or not. Okay? They're bringing to your attention things that you perhaps may benefit from paying attention to. I'm just going to leave that there. You can make of that whatever you like. That's okay. Let's go back to my core beliefs or belief. And that is, as I said, that everyone does what they think is right at the time. Now, for me, I truly feel like you can't argue that. You can't disagree with that core belief. You can if you want to, but I feel that you can't because it's reality. The reality is that people do things, people do stuff, right? And most often, it's because they have convinced themselves in that moment, at that time, that it is right. Now, even if you want to go to the dark side of this and say, well, what about people who do awful things? So even if someone does something that you perceive as awful, unspeakable, bad, not good, whatever, that person in that moment, for whatever reason, has convinced themselves, justified, whatever they needed to do, that what they were doing was right at that time. They either thought it was okay, it didn't matter, no one's going to get hurt, I'm going to get away with it. Whatever it was, whatever the justification was, their belief was in that moment that what they were doing was right. Now, for me personally, that opened up a whole world of, I guess, forgiveness for not only other people, but also myself. Meaning things happen in life, right? And you can either sit stuck and be the victim of circumstance, the victim of different situations, someone's victim, meaning that you have just let life happen to you without any role or responsibility, without any accountability, without any willingness to partake in your own life. You can do that if you want to, and I did it for a really long time. Most people do, right? But what that means is we're never going to move forward, and we're never going to be able to live in our truth because we are always going to have been a victim, stuck, powerless, without any say and without any choice. So if you want to stay there, this podcast is probably not for you. But if you don't want to stay there and you want to move forward and you want to be happy and you don't want to be torn, you don't want head noise that scares you or frightens you, or you want to feel good enough, happy, that you trust yourself, that you're confident, that you don't have fears that hold you back, then this probably is for you. So as I say, I found that core belief really empowering, and it really helped me to be able to move forward in my life and not only forgive others, but to forgive myself. Because if I remained the victim of other people's decisions, then I was stuck, right? But, people do shitty things. We all do. So my way of forgiving and my way of understanding why someone perhaps did something, said something, whatever, is to have that core belief, that knowing that although they did it, at that point in time, they thought it was right. Sure, they might look back and go, gee, I wish I had have done that, or I probably could have done something differently. Now, where the element of forgiveness comes in for yourself is we often live in regret. So we look back and we look at our past experiences, our past decisions, things we've said and done, and we go, fuck, how embarrassing. I wish I never did that. Oh my God, I'm so ashamed. And then rather than growing and learning what didn't work, we take on shame and guilt. So we're pushing down ourselves. We're not loving ourselves and honoring ourselves and going, it's okay. Sure, it was a bit shit. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. Next time, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to try this, or I'm going to think this, or I'm going to feel this. But I did what I thought was right at that time. I really feel like there's so much power in this belief. And, we all have our own core beliefs. There's no denying that. A lot of the time we don't know what a core belief is. We don't know where they play a role in our life or how to tap into them, how to reach them, how to live them and how to understand them, because we've been taught for so long to be asleep and to not listen to ourselves and our intuition. But I'm inviting you today to do just that, to tap into yourself, to know that you are enough, to know that you have the power and the peace and the beliefs that you need to help you moving forward. So do that. After you listen to this, sit there for a minute and go, what do I know as my truth? What do I believe above all else? Now, trigger warning, you may find that what you believe is not necessarily good in your perception of good. And that is only for you to judge, nobody else. So you need to figure out whether those core beliefs, good, bad, or otherwise, are serving you. Because you might have a core belief that you're shit. You might have a core belief that you're not enough, which is very, very common, right? You might have a core belief that you need external validation, meaning you need other people to tell you and show you that you are good enough, which is extremely common. Now, I'm not here to tell you that that's a bad belief to have. That's for you to decide. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with having that belief. You just have to determine whether or not it is serving you in your life at the moment. Perhaps if you have a belief that you're not good enough, I would imagine that perhaps that's not serving you because you can't live fully to your self-worth and you can't make decisions and you can't be true and free and at peace if you feel like you're not enough. But again, that's not for me to determine. So feel free to think about my core belief, one of my core beliefs, and I'm going to be discussing quite a few of my core beliefs because I use them a lot in my coaching. They help a lot of people be able to tap into their own core beliefs. It's just there as a bit of a trigger. It's thought-provoking, nothing more. I'm not asking you to adopt it. All I'm saying is perhaps it might be nice if you tapped into your own core beliefs and then decided whether or not they're serving you. So next time someone does something to you, or you think that, that was a shitty thing to say or a shitty thing to do, or you're trying to wrap your head around how and why someone has done something or why you did something, you're like, why the fuck did I do that? You can sit and ponder in the wonder of why forever. You'll get nowhere really fast. Rather, accept the fact that they or you simply did what you thought or what they thought was right at that time. Then you can move on. You don't have to forget, but you've accepted that it is what it is, was what it was, and move on from it. And there's a lesson in everything. You can learn from that. Again, it's a choice. We all have a choice. So that's it for today. Short, sharp, and sweet. I hope you enjoyed that little quick episode. Remember, you've got this, and I've got you.